Welcome everyone. Delighted to welcome the New South Wales Police Band for this very special event for Police Legacy. For nearly 30 years, Joan has welcomed the New South Wales Police Band to share their music and song through their outstanding musicians with our community. Today is another wonderful opportunity to present them to you. This is time for us to come together as family and friends, sharing the community, the spirit of Christmas, and leave with a sense of connection and joy. Thank you and welcome to the Police Band. Enjoy the concert.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very exciting for us to be back at the Joan Sutherland Centre here at Penrith to give you a Christmas concert. Normally, for those who attend Morning Melodies, you will have seen us in May for about the last 15 years, and this is the first time we've ventured out to Penrith in December. It's a lot hotter in December than it is in May. This is our first performance as a full band since the middle of June, so we're doubly excited. We always love coming to this venue, but also to just be back playing again. We've got some competition. That piece of music we performed then was a Christmas overture written by an English composer, Nigel Hess, who's a very fine composer of orchestral and band music. We're also pleased to be here today as this is one of our first live stream concerts that we're doing, and we're also here to support New South Wales Police Legacy, which is a very worthy cause. So we'll have the chair of New South Wales Police Legacy to talk for you later on during the concert. We're going to continue now with a piece called Christmas Variants, based on a Christmas tune called O Come, Emmanuel. It's not one of the immediately known ones, but when you hear it, I'm sure you'll know the melody. If you think of the medieval times, if you think of dark monasteries and monks and dark and foreboding, that gives you a little bit of an idea of O Come, Emmanuel. It does end on a bright note, though, just to let you know. This is an arrangement by Elliot Del Borgo, who's a fine wind band composer. Christmas Variants. So you can just picture the dark monastery, can't you, in that arrangement? We're now going to change the pace a little bit now, bring it up to something a little bit more recent. And John Rutter is a composer of some very beautiful music and a lot of recent Christmas music. And he wrote this little tune back in 1984 for his choir, which is the Cambridge Singers. And he called this one the Candlelight Carol. And it's a very simple, very beautiful little tune. It's a bit of a beauty spot of the concert. So we hope you enjoy this lovely Candlelight Carol. Just a simple, beautiful tune and a very lovely arrangement there, so thank you. That was Candlelight Carol. The New South Wales Police Band, for those that don't know, is a full-time permanent unit of the New South Wales Police Force. We are celebrating 127 years in February next year. We were hoping to do a big 125th. All right, thank you. We were hoping to do a big 125 in 2020, but of course COVID got in the way, so that curtailed any of our celebrations that we were going to have. So we'll get around to it at some point. But we've been around for 127 years. We normally perform around 220 performances a year. Obviously the last 2 years have been greatly reduced. This year I think this is performance number 88, and we've got 2 more next week. So a much different year to normal, but the same for everyone. Well, apparently at Christmas time you need to have songs, and you do need to have a vocalist. We have a vocalist, and we have a song that is entitled The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. It goes back to 1963. It was introduced by Andy Williams, and we've got the most beautiful vocalist of the year, Belinda Parsons.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. The most wonderful time of the year. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for roasting, and caroling cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the
wonderful. Masks on and all, you still look wonderful. Do you like the Christmas tree? Yes, we all came extra early this morning to put that up for you. And we don't have the presents under there yet, but if we all meet at Penrith Plaza just a little later, we can all buy each other Christmas presents. Are you good with that? Fantastic. Well, it definitely is the most wonderful time of the year. It's my favourite time of the year, in fact. And that arrangement, what a great arrangement that was. We hope you enjoyed it. Was done by one of our very own talented musicians and happens to be the Assistant Musical Director, Anthony Bray, up the back. Take a bow, Anthony. Well, along with this next carol, which Anthony also arranged, this is without doubt one of my all-time favourite Christmas carols to sing. Every time I hear this each year, to me, it then rings true for Christmas time. It was composed over 200 years ago in the small town of Salzburg, Austria, by Franz Gruber. Ladies and gentlemen, Silent Night.
Savior is born. thy highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Late in time, behold him come, offspring of the Virgin's womb. Hail the flesh, the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity, pleased as man with man to dwell. Jesus our Emmanuel, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Please join us for the last verse. Hail the heaven Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. Mount he lays his glory by, man that no more shall die. Man to raise the sons of earth, born to give them second birth. Let the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn
Lovely singing, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us there. Well, speaking of the newborn king, back in the mid-1800s, a gentleman by the name of John Henry Hopkins Jr. wrote the very first Christmas carol that was ever written in America, and he actually wrote it for a Christmas pageant in New York City. It is We Three Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, the New South Wales Police Band. Wonderful. Well, in keeping with the theme, I should say, of We Three Kings, we'd like to now perform for you Farandole by Bizet, which is based on the French carol called March of the Kings. That's a fun one, right? You enjoy that? Fantastic. Well, as John mentioned earlier, apart from being able to bring you, our audience, in person, some wonderful music, and our audience at home who are live streaming either on Facebook or YouTube, we think this is an extra special concert today because it's in keeping with the tradition of Christmas and what Christmas is all about, and that is the spirit of giving. If you are streaming, you will notice that there is a donate button on your screen, and for those of you who are here today out in the foyer, you may have seen some wonderful people from Police Legacy and they were taking gold coin donations for today. And all the money that is raised today or donated today will go to the fabulous charity that is Police Legacy. And here to speak today about the amazing work that they do throughout the year, please welcome to the stage the Chair of Police Legacy, Superintendent Gary Merriweather.
Thank you very much, Belinda. And they're just fantastic, the police band, aren't they? And Belinda is singing, it just gets better. I'm just going to say a few words to sort of give a bit of an outline what Police Legacy does. We're very similar to the military legacy, however, we just look after the police family. We were formed in 1987, and the reason we were formed then is that the then Deputy Commissioner, Barney Ross, was a very sort of compassionate man, and he realised that if a police officer was killed on duty or dies while serving and that, there's no support for their families. And prior to 1987, we had police in the country who lived in the police lockups, as we know in those small towns, were either killed or died, and their family was virtually just thrown out into the streets. And he said, well, this is not good enough. And so Barney Ross got together with the police union, the police association, and they formed the Police Legacy. And we've been going ever since. And 2022 will be 35 years. And what we're there to do is to support the families of all police who die, and particularly focus on their young children. Sadly, we've got 115 young kids under 18. Our youngest born this year on the 2nd of January. His father was tragically killed last year on the way home from work. We've got another young child who's just turned 2, and unfortunately he never got to see his father as well. And you think, well, this is an example of the wider community as well. But with policing, every day the police officer goes to work, they don't know what they're going to see or do or what they have to respond to. And we often see the police cars racing around, particularly around Penrith and other suburbs in Sydney and that. And we need to pause and say, what are they actually going to? For example, yesterday, very tragically, down in Devonport, the locals would have heard the police cars rushing to the primary school. Those police are never going to recover from that. And that's what policing's about. We're willing to be out there to protect the community. And I suppose it's a bit like the freedoms that we've sort of missed over the last 2 years with COVID. We all just sort of took life very much for granted, but after going through the lockdown 1 and lockdown 2, we realised what we do miss. And that's the world of policing, that we don't realise what the police have to do every day until we don't see them out there and things go to pear-shaped. Hence, that's why we have Police Legacy, to look after their families and to respect those officers who are all willing to face a life and death situation, and which they do many times. And we're very lucky that often that the police come out on top, and it's very rare that a police officer is murdered. But if those rare circumstances of a police officer dies from unrelated causes, Police Legacy is there to look after the family, to ensure those children and their partners are given the best opportunities to succeed in life. We do that by providing education grants and helping kids go through the trauma of losing a parent through counselling. We take the kids away twice a year on camps so they get to be with other kids, because when children lose a parent, they're often the only kid in that class that actually has lost a parent. So when they come together, they've got this unique bond where they sort of support each other through those difficult times. And with the parents, we're always there to support them. Just being there a phone call away or providing specialised counselling services so they get the best opportunity to be a sole parent, which they didn't choose or set out to be. So that's what Police Legacy is all about, to ensure that when the police officer goes to work, no matter what happens, Police Legacy will be there to support that family, not just in the near future, but in the very long future. And that, with our oldest Police Legacy being 106, which is an incredible age in itself, but she's still very grateful for the support that Police Legacy offers to her and her family. So thank you for coming along today and supporting the police band, and supporting Police Legacy, and just listen to me so you can just sort of understand what policing's all about. I've been a police officer for 35 years, so I'm thinking about making it a full-time career. But it's a great job, but sadly, over that 35 years, I've lost too many colleagues, through their work as police officers, and that's why it's such an important cause to remember them and support their families. So thank you very much. Make sure you come out and say hello to us outside on the way out, and we've got some pamphlets there if you want to make a donation. That is fantastic, and thank you everybody who's purchased items already. Thank you very much for your support. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Big round of applause. Thank you. Pleasure having you here today. So, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, please, as the superintendent said, please give. It's the perfect time of year to give, and there's lots of people out there in need. And also, if you're at home, press that donate now button. That would be most appreciated. It's a very worthy cause indeed. Oh, a big round of applause. Welcome some of the band back to the stage. Well, at Christmas time, I'm sure each and every one of you have one particular favourite Christmas tune that you might enjoy singing more than others. I think this one's always fun to sing, and it's a little bit of a different take on a Christmas classic, this one. Can anyone pick it yet? No? Well, this is a wonderful tune. It's quite jazzy, and that's because this is an arrangement that was recorded by a wonderful singer who goes by the name of Diana Krall. I'm sure you've heard of her. And this is her take on Jingle Bells. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, all the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bound to ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, we're wild and young. Well, take the girls tonight and sing a sleighing song. Who's get about to bay, 240 at his feet. Hitch him to an open sleigh and crack, you take the lead. One-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Please thank New South Wales Police Band. Thank you. We have some more members of the brass section joining us, and of course our illustrious leader and musical director. He does like to dance, in fact. If you give him a really big round of applause now, I'm pretty sure he might do a little bit of dance for you. Oh, there you go. That's his Christmas gift to you. Well, here is another outstanding arrangement by the very talented Anthony up the back there, and this is featuring our brass ensemble.
of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt His word. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices for yonder grace, and you and glorious morn fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel's peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus praise we, let all we hear us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord. Let every layman praise Him. Oh, night divine.
Please sing our brass ensemble beautifully. And once again, Anthony, a wonderful arrangement. Thank you. Well, as John has mentioned, the band has been kept busy, not quite as busy as what we normally are, but definitely busy. And in the words of the village people, you can't stop the music. Definitely not. We were involved in some wonderful projects throughout the pandemic, and lots of music was being written. We did lots of Zoom workshops with the schools, so we got to see some lovely kids' faces learning how to play an instrument, which was great. We had a couple of really fun projects that we were working on. The first one we did was actually some alternate lyrics were written by our Public Affairs Department to a pretty funky 90s song called All Stars, and I'm not sure, some of you may have seen it. It was on our Facebook page as well as the police Facebook page, and we got, I think it's had about over 1.5 million views, probably more by now. It was quite popular, and we sung about washing your hands and sanitising, and it was a safety message, so it was lots of fun to do, and some of the members did that from home. That was fun. And another one, just before we went into the second lockdown, we got to do an arrangement of the Yellow Wiggle, Greg Page. You may remember Greg. He's got some wonderful campaigns, and one of his campaigns is Stay Kind Month, which happens every year. And we thought it was very appropriate during the time because people react to the pandemic quite differently. So I think it was a really good message, and it was an absolute thrill for the band to be involved with Greg during that. So apart from all of that work that we did, we are very, very happy and most happy to be here performing for you today in person, definitely, with songs like this one. This is O Come All Ye Faithful, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We've come to the end of our concert, but before we finished, I wanted to just do a few thank yous. First of all, thank you to our audience here in the auditorium and also online for being with us and sharing their music. We're, as I said, very happy to be here and see you. I've just had a quick word with Valda, and she's been speaking with the management already since the start of the concert, and we're looking like doing this again this time next year. So hopefully we'll have a full auditorium. So, as I said, it is the first sit-down performance for 6 months, so for the band it's actually a bigger effort than normal. Normally we're doing this, a couple of times a week and it just happens, but when you've had a big break and you've got to get back into doing it, the band's really done a good job. So thank you to the members of the band, and We'd also like to thank the team out here at Joan, Sutherland, Tim and Jeff up there with the sound and the lighting. Some outstanding work. And of course, Valda, and I would particularly like to thank our vocalist and part-time MC today, Belinda Parsons, for her efforts. So, on behalf of all of the members of the band and of course all the members of the New South Wales Police Force, we would like to wish you a Merry Christmas, a safe Christmas, and hopefully a lockdown-free Christmas as well. So we hope to see you next year, and we've got the only way to finish our concert is with Belinda.
Christmas future is far away. Christmas past is past. Christmas present is here today, bringing joy that will last. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. The fates allow, and your shining star up on the highest bough. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Gather near to us once more. Through the years we all be together. If the fates allow, hang your shining star up on the highest bough.
Ladies and gentlemen, your New South Wales Police Concert Band.
For Christmas, if only